I'd like to inform you all about a topic as we know as global warming. We, as a community, are the very first generation to put a halt to issues such as poverty, yet we are the very last generation to put a halt to such a disaster of global warming. Since 1950, the rise of global temperatures has been caused by none other than the human race. How does it make you feel that your own species is responsible for destroying life on our very own big, bold and beautiful planet Earth? Over the past 50 years, global temperatures have increased at the fastest rate in recorded history. Now, a statement spoken by David Attenborough tells us the following.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale.
This statement is a prime example of what we're fast approaching: doomsday. The doomsday clock is a symbol that represents the likelihood of a man-made global catastrophe. It has been maintained since 1997 by members of the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists. It is a metaphor for threats to humanity from unchecked scientific technical advances. This is also known as the countdown to midnight. Is it too late to turn back the clock? Climate change is happening right now, and all you're doing is watching it happen, when you could help slow down this catastrophic catastrophe. That's right, I'm talking to you. While the world is either burning, drowning or droughting its way into oblivion, you're sat on your sofa in your underwear, scrolling through Instagram or endlessly binging Netflix. What's the worst that could happen, you may ask? Well, more frequent and intense drought, storms we can't even begin to imagine, heat waves which lead to rising sea levels, melting glaciers, warming oceans that can directly harm animals, destroy the places they live and wreak havoc on people's livelihoods and communities. As climate change worsens, dangerous weather becomes more frequent or severe.
A tanker runs aground off the Welsh coast. Some 4,000 tonnes of crude oil have leaked into the sea.
It's not only rising temperatures that are affecting our climate. About half a mile that way, on the 6th of June 1996, the Sea Empress sank, spewing out oil into our waterways after an oil tanker was pushed off course due to strong currents and hit the rocks in the middle of the channel of the Clydau estuary. An estimated 73,000 tonnes of crude oil had entered the water, which caused a vast amount of both environmental and aesthetic damage. Volunteers helped open and run a makeshift animal hospital of over 7,000 dead or oiled birds were taken there. That's just a fraction of the number of local wildlife that had been affected due to this disaster. Despite these efforts, the average survival rate of those birds released back into the wild was only up to 9 days. And the spill had a devastating effect on the local shellfish and lobster fishermen. And some claim the industry has never fully recovered from this disaster. Wildlife experts say that only now, in recent years, has the ecology of the coastline returned to its previous state. With Pembrokeshire being the only coastal national park in Britain, this has truly shaped the way that we look after our wildlife we have along this rugged coastline. It makes us think, how much longer can we keep transporting these substances with the possible risk of wiping out an entire generation of seabirds and other marine life? The question me and many others in this local community have is, when is it too late? Only we can contribute to reduce the changes in climate change through changing your habits. We must try our very best to solve the problem and strive as much as possible. We need to do this for our Earth, our home, for our planet's sake, and for future generations.